Tzu Chi provides various medical services in Vietnam, serving more than 1,300 people. Red Fire ants attacks creates crises for homeowners as well as communities across Taiwan. Welcome to Dai Headlines. I'm Margaret Lin. Thank you for joining us. Vietnam Tzu Chi volunteers held a free clinic in the local community. This time, various medical services were provided to help alleviate the pain of residents.
As soon as the elderly arrived at the free clinic, the volunteers quickly stepped out to help them walk in or bring them wheelchairs. Some elderly are being carried on the volunteers' backs to see the doctors. Vietnam Tzu Chi volunteers hold a free clinic in Tin Tien Gang with more than 1,300 people seeing the doctors. The volunteers also give wheelchairs to a survivor of Agent Orange.
I'm so happy because I can push her in a wheelchair to sell lottery tickets. I can make more money.
The free clinics include internal medicine, ophthalmology, dentistry, otorhinolaryngology, pediatrics, gynecology, and also Chinese medical massage. It helps to relieve long-term aches on the body.
Bấm gì ra nãy giờ thấy nó giãn cái lưng không? Thấy giãn lưng không? Nó giãn, nó lớn lên.
Seeing the senior smiled, no one from the medical team feels agitated by the hot weather. Li Huiming, a Tzu Chi who just graduated from Tzu Chi University, enjoys the happiness of giving.
Grandpas and grandmas are very patient. It is very hot now, but they still wear a smile and line up like everyone else.
Rambo Ling from the Philippines traveled to Vietnam for business. He also grabs a chance to give help.
The free clinic here is just like the ones in the Philippines, where local doctors and volunteers are taking part. It shows the free clinics have taken root.
Everyone seems joyful despite their physical discomfort. The grandma in her 70s also goes to the stage and sings.
If I live near here, I'd also do good deeds with you. I'm happy, although I'm old, I enjoy serving people. I also went to the stage and sang to everyone.
I'm so grateful for the free examination and free medicines.
It is not just the free medical care. The volunteers and the doctors also provide love because it is the best remedy.
After Cyclone Idai, there are still many people living in the tent area in Metuhira. In order to supplement the nutrition of these affected residents, Mozambique Tzu Chi volunteers recently brought them rice and multi-grain powder. We are in Metuhira for winter distribution. The villagers support themselves with their own vegetables. If they want rice, they need outside help.
This is a winter distribution, but this is like a very hot summer in Taiwan. There is only this big tree that has shade, so the villagers gather there. And the lot before the tree is the open stage for local volunteers, where they do a skit to inspire people.
We want to use the drama to share the ideal that whether you are rich or poor, you can also share love with other people and be considerate.
This performance charges no fee, but the villagers support Tzu Chi's ideal, so they always donate their changes to Tzu Chi to help people. On this day, the volunteers will distribute to 295 families. Many volunteers serving are from the tent area. After several distributions, Tzu Chi has trained a group of local volunteers who are able to hand over goods to the recipients respectfully. The goods include rice, multi-grain powder, cooking pots, and mosquito nets. The number of blankets is based on the number in the family. 3 people or more will receive 2 blankets. Some volunteers help look after babies while the mothers fetch the goods. The volunteers will also help carry the goods home. This tiny grandmother has a heavy load because she has to raise 7 grandchildren.
I lost my son in a cyclone, and I've separated from my husband for a long time, so I raised my 7 grandchildren alone. To me, life is indeed very hard.
The youngest grandchild is only 1 year old, and the others also need help.
So I feel that it's like my mother, because when she explained me that she are here with the 7 grandchildren supporting herself, so it's not so good, because I feel like it's so hard for her. So that's why when I came here, I saw her like my mother.
Tzu Chi volunteers come every time. The children always welcome them warmly. The tent areas is in the desert, so it needs love to moisture and won't find the people to prosper.
Also in Mozambique, Tzu Chi has held ad distributions in 2 different places in Namatanda district. One of the local volunteers who came to help out feel fortunate being able to help others. Local residents build their homes with wood and bamboo branches in the hopes of being able to sleep at night.
He used to live in a tent which was low and covered with canvas. The structure was similar to this, which was built with a simple wooden frame and covered with canvas. In fact, the grandfather's previous shelter was lower than this, and it was as high as this one. He used the canvas as the roof, and he lived below it.
After Tzu Chi distributed building materials, there is a group of Namatanda volunteers who continue to build shelters for the elderly or the people who are in poor health.
Namatanda volunteers told us that it was we who built the shelter for the grandmother. Like this bamboo, it was brought by us, and this tarp was left behind by our previous free clinic. We left it here for local volunteers to use. They can use the tarp to build shelters for those who need help.
Volunteer Manuel can speak English and has been serving as a translation volunteer since May. He also assesses the disaster damage along with Tzu Chi volunteers. He does not expect that he can also change himself through the process of giving.
When I joined in Tzu Chi Foundation, something has changed. For example, I never tell somebody thank you because of giving something. But I learned that it's good to say thank you because you give something and he receive it. So you have to say thank you. But before, no. I was saying I can say thank you if you give him something. You see? So it means that I changed it.
Although Manuel is also one of the disaster-affected residents, he cherishes his ability to work and help others. In Namatanda, Manuel is not the only local volunteer who has learned the happiness of giving. Many of the locals have joined the volunteers to help prepare for distributions. The spirits of self-help and mutual assistance is being constructed in Metuhira. After Cyclone Idai, volunteers from Maputo have been staying in Namatanda to train local volunteers. They held a gathering in the 5th tribal village for the first time to share their experiences.
This is the first time that volunteers have held a gathering in Namatanda District's 5th tribal village, attended by more than 200 residents. The atmosphere of the remote village livens up where Maputo volunteers passing on experiences to the local volunteers. Boiled rice is food that villagers rarely encounter because they normally eat potatoes and vegetables as their staple food. The rice mixed with beans is simple food for most of us, but to them it is very precious.
Seeing everyone happy, I feel happy too. That's why I'm always happy to see everyone feel joyful.
Helping people in need gives strength to us, and we don't feel tired at all. The voluntary activities are very meaningful because they help villagers stand up again.
Celia and Marietta are a sister duo who traveled 1,200 kilometers away from Maputo. As they have attained better education than most people in Mozambique, they have been tasked with taking charge of warehouse management. To inspire more local volunteers after Cyclone Idai, they borrowed the open space from the government's education unit to set up tents as their shelters.
Living away from home is not easy at first, but I have gradually overcome difficulties, so now I can live here without much worry.
I enjoy learning. I think I can learn a lot by coming here to help out because I have the chance to go to different tribes to give and learn.
This volunteer also comes from Maputo. At night, the office of the educational unit turns into the dormitory for volunteers.
A vida aqui pode ser uma vida difícil, pode ser uma vida boa.
I do not worry about life here, but I'm more concerned about the most important mission I have here. It is to share our experience with everyone. If we do not do well, then there is no way it can get better in the future.
Anna Maria once complained to her mother why she was born in an impoverished family. But through the process of giving, she has changed her mindset as she experienced the happiness of helping other less fortunate people.
Most ants do not cause much harm to humans, but red fire ants can cause swelling, pain, and even short-term blindness and shock. Follow our report as we learn how red fire ants create a sort of crisis for many areas in Taiwan.
Where I'm standing is New Taipei City's Damsui District, Dunshan Borough. We can see to the side this large red fire ant nest. Some 40 centimeters below the surface, extending for 1 to 2 meters, is where the nest may be located.
This time, there may be up to 1 million of them. It is attacking this steel wire. If your hand is bare, it will bite your skin, and after biting, it has poison in the butt area with a stinger, which will go into your skin along with this toxin.
Taking off his glove, he finds more than a dozen bites along with redness and pain.
It will continue to itch for a week or so. Some people who are more sensitive or have low tolerance to this toxin poison will start to have swelling and rash.
In addition to the prevention control personnel being attacked, more and more farmers are being targeted.
I have never seen this kind of thing before. It has invaded us for many years now and is getting more and more serious. After being bitten, we will have a fever and can't sleep at night. It needs more than 10 days to recover.
Most people who work in the field have been bitten, even elderly ladies growing vegetables. According to data, nearly 100 residents in Dongshan Borough have been attacked by red fire ants. Red fire ants have invaded areas inhabited by humans. Right now, I'm in the Ximen area of New Taipei City. The courtyard of a home has a lot of red fire ant hills. Within the short space of 1.5 meters, you can see 2 ant hills.
After weeding, I found this red fire ant nest coming out from the ground. It appeared just 2 or 3 days ago. It surprised me that it can grow so big in just a few days, but this is actually a small anthill.
Now, red fire ants are uninvited guests terrorizing local people.
Red fire ants went along the window of the baby's room, and Hong used electrical sockets to invade the home. His hands and feet are all bitten by red fire ants. Miss Huang has an allergic constitution, and after being bitten, she developed these large blisters, which ruptured and caused secondary bacterial infection.
U.S. research has found that 2% of people are severely allergic to red fire ants. After being bitten, they may experience rash over a large area, blisters, loss of vision, and even shock and death.
An allergic person could collapse after a bite from the red fire ant. Even a strong young man may faint after 30 minutes after being bitten if he is allergic.
Adults are not immune, and children may be even more at risk. What is worrying is that red fire ants have invaded many campuses. Where I am today is Dunshan Elementary School. Starting 3 years ago, a large number of red fire ants invaded the campus. It could be seen everywhere on campus. A prominent ant nest can be seen next to the students' entrance and exit. The chaos caused by red fire ants at the school has been going on for 4 years, threatening 100 students and teachers.
After being bitten by a red fire ant, you will know how poisonous it is. Our children have also been bitten.
We will first notify the parents if the children have been bitten by red fire ants. We will show students a picture of red fire ants and then tell them that this is a foreign invasive species.
For the person who is bitten by the red fire ant, one should not break the pustule, but first wash with water and then apply ice and raise the affected part. If you have a rapid heartbeat or difficulty breathing and a pain in your chest, you should seek medical attention immediately. In recent years, the spread of red fire ants has been hard to prevent.
Once the red fire ant invades your home, it will usually stay in high-temperature areas, such as behind a refrigerator or in switches or electrical equipment.
Red fire ants have spread from areas ranging from Keelung, Taipei, New Taipei, Taoyuan, Hsinchu County, Miaoli County, Taichung, Dai County, Tainan, Yilan County, and outer islands such as Kinmen. This is quite a large part of Taiwan.
Red fire ant's environment is the same as our human environment. It enjoys farmland and schools and parks, and actually it likes to live with people. So the threat from these red fire ants to us is quite large.
The Taiwanese proverb about the incredible power of a red ant is actually very correct, as the red fire ants are very aggressive in nature and have virtually displaced native ants and become a dominant species. It not only endangers plants and animals, but also threatens human life.
In Malaysia, a local enterprise visited the Tzu Chi recycling station in Bugis Jelutong. Through the visits, many of them have been inspired to practice recycling from that day forward. Staff members of a local enterprise in Malaysia visit the Tzu Chi recycling station in Bugis Jelutong.
One of our volunteers bring his staff over here to get to know more about environmental protection and also recycling habits, so that they can bring back and practice at home. So like most of them are first time doing recycling.
So having them here, basically we want to give them awareness with regards to the global warming that happened in our Earth, in the Mother Earth now, and of course to give them some knowledge about the recycle that helps in reducing the global warming. Okay, of course in our working life, we're not really much involved into this, exposed to this information. So it's good for them to understand, and not only we can do recycle at office, and of course we can do it as well as at their home or their daily life.
Waterproof. Ini yang banner.
Need to start practice 5R, which is refuse, reduce, reuse, repair, and also recycle. So I think our environment, our people need to start doing this recycling because it's for our future also. I will take an action, and also I will be the number one who do the recycle.
This pair of shoes is very artistic. Because they are made from recycled materials, they originally appeared valueless. But I'm surprised that they can be made into these beautiful items. Having been inspired by this activity, I want to set aside more time to do recycling.
Through this activity, the enterprise has begun to pay attention to environmental education, hoping to encourage more employees to practice recycling both in office and at home. Tzu Chi Singapore chapter will establish 4 new Tzu Chi affiliates in September. Since 2 of them are still under construction now, the volunteers seize the chance to promote Tzu Chi humanities and vegetarianism to the construction workers.
Next to the subway station is Tzu Chi Chinese Medicine Free Clinic Center, which will be opened in September. At the construction site, the workers are working hard to prepare for the opening. Outside the construction site, some people are also busy.
One is coconut rice, another is plain rice. I'm deeply moved.
Various food have been prepared for workers of different ethnicities. This is the weekly lunch gathering for the volunteers and construction bodhisattvas.
想说他是印度工人嘛，因为煮他们喜欢吃的口味，他们会吃的比较。
We cook Indian food for Indian workers so as to make them happier.
these are Chinese workers too. However, the Indians like spicy food, but not the Chinese, so we will prepare some plain rice for the Chinese. No matter they are workers or supervisors, all of them come from other places. We will treat them equally.
就是说他们就是工人，我们就看不起他们，没有全部不管工头也好，工人也好，都是一律平等的那个对待呢。
我们每天都会说。
We regard the construction site as our home. Since they are working very hard for our home, we should care more for them, providing them with water to drink and snacks to eat. This way, everybody will work happily.
Other than lunch, the volunteers also provide daily snacks to the workers. Although there are language barriers, the workers can feel the humanities and warmth conveyed by Tzu Chi through every detail the volunteers did for them.
这一群慈济人是来这边。
Tzu Chi volunteers bring love and respect to the workers. Although there is language barrier, I believe that the workers can feel our kindness and care.
关心，相信是感受得到，无声说法。
These packed lunch boxes are prepared for another group of workers who work for a Tzu Chi Youth Center that will also be officially opened in September. The volunteers are advocating a midnight meal once a week at the end of the construction. The volunteers are grateful for the hard work of the workers and especially care for the construction site, exuding a strong sense of humanities.
In China, Tzu Chi volunteers in Changsha travel to Shimen County to conduct home visits. Besides providing love and care to the residents in need, volunteers also deliver peace charms and aid supplies.
好晒了，好晒了，晒了，好晒了，我的衣服，好晒了啊。
74-year-old Mr. Zhong is mentally challenged and hearing impaired. He does not trust other people, but upon seeing Tzu Chi volunteers, he holds their hands and allows the volunteers to clean his place. The room is very messy, with eggs hiding under the bedsheet. The volunteers sweep the floor, change the bedsheet, and cut Mr. Zhong's nails. Entrepreneur Wu Guoqiang is participating for the first time.
He is deeply touched by our care. Therefore, he allows us to clean up his room. We clean up his room.
As the elderly mother laughs, the volunteers also feel joyful. Changsha Tzu Chi volunteers have been caring for residents in Shimen County for many years. Before the winter arrives, they conduct home visits, providing love and care.
Helping other people, we will feel happy. Seeing how other people can feel warm, we feel very happy.
Shimen has been lifted out of poverty last year, and the residents are living better lives. However, the volunteers still care for the sick and poor. They deliver the peace charms and will continue to provide the needed care.
To thank Seattle Tzu Chi volunteers for their devotion to former inmates, the Department of Corrections in Washington honored Tzu Chi with the Humanity Service Award. We will leave you with these images. Thanks for watching.